Hey guys, it's Melissa here from melissaoatman.com. Welcome to Awaken Your Inner Awesomeness, a daily podcast devoted to spirituality and self-help. If you're new, I want to welcome you. If you're returning, welcome back. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about the importance of clearing your energy. I've been receiving a lot of clients lately, and one common thing that keeps coming up with all of them is that they're carrying around negative energy that isn't their own. And if you're an empath, that is very, very, very likely the case, because empathic people tend to pick up on other people's energy. And even if you don't think you're an empathic person, when you're around someone who's very negative, you may notice that when you walk away from that person, you also feel negative. Those people tend to leave an effect on you. If you're working in an environment that's very toxic and you're around people who are kind of jerks, they always have a problem for every solution, and that weighs on you. And you may find that if you have to spend any amount of time at all with someone like that, when you walk away, you may suddenly realize you're just in a bad mood. You just don't feel well. You don't feel like yourself. And you may react to things differently than you normally would. You may notice that you're crabbier with your kids when you come home from work, or with your spouse or friends. You may just feel like, well, my attention, my attitude with my family and friends is really different. I just seem to have a short fuse with them. It seems like everything makes me angry, or everything gets under my skin. And most likely, you're wondering, what's going on? Why am I acting this way? Why am I, acting like I normally wouldn't? Why is everything bothering me? And you may have just chalked it up to, well, I'm tired, I had a busy day, whatever. But the truth is, you were probably around someone who had very negative energy, and you picked up on that, and you took it home with you, and then you went with it. And so now it's sort of set off a ripple effect in your world of negativity, because people do that. I've talked so many times about how we cause a ripple effect, but it's so true. When you are negative and mean to someone else, that in turn causes someone else to probably turn around and be mean too. And it's just natural. That's just how we are. It's how we operate. As humans, we focus on the negative. And it's not until you find someone who is aware enough of how this works to stop and say, no, I'm not going to allow someone else to affect my day. And for me, for a long time, I was the type of person that if I went to the store and the clerk at the store was rude to me, it would bother me, and then I would go home and I would be crabby with everybody else. I just let everything affect my mood, and I let everything affect my day, because I was picking up on energy everywhere I went. I had no clue what an empath was, and I didn't realize. I knew, people would just say, you're sensitive, you're too sensitive. I didn't know what that meant. Okay, I'm too sensitive. What does that mean? It means that I used to pick up on everyone else's energy, and I would let it affect how I ran my day. And now I know what's happening, and I know how to stop it. And somebody asked me that the other day. They're like, but how do you disconnect from that? How do you not allow it to affect you? And there are several ways. So that's what I want to talk to you about today. I want to talk to you about how to, number one, identify that you keep picking up other people's energy, how to stop it, and how to actually reverse the effects, because it is possible. It is totally possible. It's just that our brains have become, in our way of thinking, we have just become so conditioned to go with the flow and go with status quo, which is when someone makes us mad, we have the tendency to turn around and want to take that out on someone else until we feel better. And the thing is, it might make you feel better temporarily. You may feel better if someone chews you out for you to turn around and chew someone else out, but it's not going to make you feel better in the long run. And what you're doing is you're sending out a ripple of negativity, which then comes back to you, because whatever you put out there comes back to you. And I truly believe that. And you might call it karma, call it whatever you want. But it's my belief that we don't just put out all of this negative stuff and none of it comes back to us. Of course it does. in other ways. It may not be the exact same thing happening to you, but it's going to come back. So we have to be very, very conscious of how we're living our lives, what we do and what we say every day. And I know you're not perfect. You don't need to strive for perfection. You're going to fail sometimes. You're going to have, times when you mess up. That's okay. You're human. That's not the point. The point is not, I'm never, ever going to make a mistake. The point is catching yourself when you start to go down that road and stopping yourself. We get better at it the more practice we have, but it doesn't mean that you're never, ever going to do it again. I'm human. When I'm talking to someone, I told you about how I got triggered a few weeks ago when the credit card company called me, and I had all these late charges on them, and I'd paid my bill every month steadily and never saw a late fee, and all of a sudden they just put 3 on my bill at once. And when I called, the lady said, well, you just need to be more responsible. And it was like someone slapping me in the face. I'm like, what? I'm running a business. I work full time. I have 2 kids who are senior. Like, what do you mean I need to be more responsible? And I never missed a payment. I made your payment. So it just made me so mad. And I lost it on that. I called her a not nice name, and I'm not proud of that. But I was triggered. But I did call back, and I said, look, I'm sorry. But here's the deal. And I laid out my truth, and the lady was like, I'm so sorry. But it doesn't mean that we don't fall. Of course we do. We're going to be tested constantly over things, and we will fail sometimes. Failure, remember, it's just finding an alternative and learning. It just means we go a different direction. It means, hey, I realize now that I didn't do this the right way. How would I have handled it next time? How can I do this better? And I truly believe it's worth sitting after you realize that you handled something in the wrong way and sitting down and saying, okay, if I had my full wits about me, if I hadn't gotten so emotional, because that's actually what happens. We get emotional and we're not using the part of our brain that thinks logically. So if I had total control over the senses of my brain, if my brain were able to use the part of my brain that thinks logically, how would I have handled that? How could I have handled that differently? And then thinking about it and then actually forming a different response, because you'll be tested again. It's just a fact of life. We're constantly tested. And now next time you know better, because when you know better, you do better. And that's exactly the point. So when we pick up on other people's energy, it can be very frustrating and very draining. So how do you stop from doing that? That's the big question. And I'm here to tell you that you can. One of the things that you need to learn how to do is to shield yourself. This is something that you can do every morning and every evening. And I'm going to be really honest with you. I would tell you, do this every morning. But I don't do it every morning. I do it every evening. And I need to start doing it every morning. But I don't do it every morning. I will do it if I feel like, I'm going to have a tough day today. I need to shield myself. But I do it every evening. I remove the energies. But I would honestly suggest doing this every morning and every evening. And it doesn't take very long. There's 2 things you can do. Number 1, I ask Archangel Michael. I feel like Archangel Michael and I were just like walking throughout life together hand in hand. I feel like he's been one of the lead angels here helping me. So I always envision him, his light, he comes in as like a bluish, purplish light. And I envision that he puts his light all the way around my entire body so that now I'm in like a bubble of his blue light. Nothing can get in there, no negative energies, nothing. Nothing can penetrate that light. So it's like I'm walking around with a safety bubble wrap around me for the day. So that's the first thing I do. And Archangel Michael helps to give us peace and calm when we're afraid. But he also helps to protect us. So that's why I call on him. You can call on any archangel you want. If you have one that you work with more, certainly feel free to call in that archangel. Just imagine, because they all have different colored lights that we associate with them when they come in. And if you've ever taken pictures and these colored orbs show up, that's what you're seeing. If it's green, it's probably Archangel Raphael. If it's pink, it could be Archangel Ariel, or it could be Archangel Jophiel. You need to go, you can do research. You can just go and look up the archangels and what they do and the colors that they represent, and also their crystals that usually go along with them too. So you can look all that up. There's a lot of information out there about that. So pick the archangel that you really want to work with. For me, it's Archangel Michael because, again, he's got that protective shielding. And a big lesson for me, one of the things I'm trying to do more in my life is not be afraid. So he gives me courage. So that's why I go with him. But you can use any archangel you want. The other thing that I do is that I imagine that God's light is coming down from above, and it goes down through my entire body at about the consistency of honey. And again, you can imagine any color light you want. You can imagine that it's God's light. You can imagine it's just a healing light. Whatever you want, whatever you pick for yourself is perfect for you, and you know what your body needs. So I imagine this light coming down. I picture a golden light. It can be any color you want. Sometimes I say white light because we think of white as purification, but whatever you want to pick is perfect for you. So I do a golden light sometimes. And as it's moving down throughout my body, and I imagine it moving through my head and through my neck, my shoulders, I'm imagining that it's removing toxins and any negative energy that I picked up on throughout my day. And if you need a visual, because some people do, some people are very visual people and they need a visual. I kind of imagine, and I'm dating myself by telling you this, but if you remember the toy we used to have, and you could often buy them at, like, I know you could get it at the Cracker Barrel, you could get it in my other toy stores, but it was, you had a pen and it was like a magnet on the end, and there was a guy's face, and they had all this black, I guess it was, I don't know what the material was, but the magnet would attract it, and you could draw eyebrows on him and a goatee and hair, whatever. So I imagine those like black particles. I think they were probably, I don't know, some kind of metallic material. But anyway, I would imagine that black particles are all like moving out through my body, because I'm a very visual person too. I'm like one of those people when you say, go north, I'm like, whoa, Lewis and Clark, who do you think I am? I don't know my directions. Like, tell me what it's by. I need a visual. Like, is it by a McDonald's? Is it by a Walmart? What? So that's why I need the visual, and I think the visual helps for me. If you don't need it, don't worry about it. But I envision these black little particles like moving out through my body, and it goes all the way out through the bottoms of my feet and into Mother Earth. And Mother Earth is very grounding, which is why we say that the light goes into Mother Earth. And from there, it's transmuted from very negative energy to healing positive energy. And then it goes back up through the bottoms of your feet, all the way back up through your body and out through the top of your head and into the realms above. So you are being fed from above and below. You're a channel of love and light. So that's divine light going through you, and it cleanses you. So I do that in the evening for sure. And now I would say start doing it in the morning and in the evening. And I need to be better about doing it in the morning. So in total, that would take you maybe like 2 minutes to do. To envision yourself being shielded, and then to envision that the light is going through you. And that is something that you can always do. Another thing is doing that as soon as you've been around somebody who's negative. If you know, like, oh my gosh, this person got under my skin today, like I really just wanted to slap them. If you feel like that, know that you have picked up on their energy. So you need to then do that whole, the light coming through you once again, because it happens. There are people you're around, you're like, good Lord, this person is obnoxious, and you just really cannot stand being around them. And it's because you're being repelled by their energy. I mean, even if they're saying stupid things and they're being rude, talking, you're repelled by their energy before they even open their mouths. People can feel energy, especially if you're an empath. You're feeling that, like that person feels nasty because their energy is very negative. And I feel like people are put here to test us with that, we come here many times, and in some lifetimes we've been negative people, and in other we've been the light. We all have different roles we come here to experience. So, you've been that kind of person too, but it's all about shielding your energy so that you don't become that person now. I feel like that is so important. Darkness doesn't drive out darkness. Light does that. And that was a quote that I read from Martin Luther King Jr. And I just love that because it's so true. It's like, we're not going to combat darkness by being hateful and evil. That's not going to do it. It's being the light that's going to drive out the darkness. We have to be the light in order to show others how to be the light. And I think that it's so important now, especially in a time where if you turn on the news, it's just all negative. And it's so depressing, and every day we're being told to be on high alert because of all the political stuff that's going on, and you could drive yourself insane. And certainly it can be scary. So if we want to drive all of that out, if we want to change the world, we have to start with ourselves. It starts with us. It's just, we have to be the light. We're showing others how to do it. Another thing that's come up so often lately, and you've heard me talk about it in one of the latest podcasts, was how if we want people to change, we have to first work on ourselves. And you would be surprised at just working on yourself, how that causes people around you to change. I wouldn't have believed it really if you had told me hey, if you change yourself, those other people that you want to change around you will. I would have been okay, sure. Go back to your little fantasy world. I'm sure that's really going to work. But it does. It absolutely does. When you focus on yourself and being the light within you, those around you shift too. And not everyone is going to. I don't want to give you any false hope. But I think you would be surprised at who around you does decide to shift. Who says, oh my gosh, what are you doing? You look so great. You look happy. What's going on with you? And then you can tell them your story. But it's important not to allow those who decide, I don't care what you do. I'm going to be my same negative, spiteful, mean self. I don't care what you do around you. I'm not changing. It's important not to let those people change you. We want it to be the other way around, but some people won't change, but don't allow them to change you. Continue to be the positive light bringer that you are, because you are. You bring light into this world, you carry the light with you, and you show others your light. And we need so much more of that. Not less of it, we need more of it. So don't allow those negative Nancys of the world to come in and make you feel bad for being positive. And people will do that. They will make fun of you and they'll be like, okay, Susie Sunshine, just keep spreading that joy, sarcastically at you, because again, people have to be unhappy with themselves. There's no need to make fun of others if you're happy with yourself. You wouldn't feel the need to tear someone else down, somebody who's trying to do something positive. So don't let the naysayers drag you down, and make sure that you're clearing your space, clearing your energy before you get out of bed and when you come home, before you go to bed. Those things are very important because we carry a lot with us. We don't even realize sometimes how much we truly carry with us until, we lay down at night. We're like, oh, man, I'm so exhausted. It will drain you both mentally and physically. You will feel heavily burdened. You'll be tired. You'll feel different emotions. Like it can make you feel depressed, or it can make you feel, I don't know, you may feel like you're not enough. And it's not your own energy usually. It's other people making you feel that way. So it's super important for you to clear your space and get rid of that. And you can. And I wanted to pull a card for you today, and not making this up. I already had the topic and I pulled the card, and it's just what came out, and you can't make it up. You just can't make it up. You've seen me do this on the live where I'll just have a topic and then I pull a card and it's the exact card that comes out. It's the universe telling me that this was the message people needed to hear today. So I love that. I think that's awesome. So I pulled a card from the Archangel Oracle deck, and it's chakra clearing. And this card is so beautiful. It's all purple. I mean, you tend to think of purple as like, I don't know, almost like a revitalizing color and rejuvenating color. And it's chakra clearing. It's Archangel Metatron. Call upon me to clear and open your chakras using sacred geometric shapes. So there are like sacred geometric shapes out there. If you go look that up, I don't know that much about it, honestly, but there are, I don't even know what it's really called. Just look up geometric shapes for energy clearing. But you can envision this shape coming down through your body and cleansing the different chakras. And it is important to cleanse your energy chakras from time to time because they get blocked. When people say things that hurt us, energy gets blocked. When you're not speaking your truth, energy is blocked. When you don't feel like you're enough, energy is blocked. So it's important to clear those energies. And I do have a chakra clearing meditation on my website if you want to purchase that. And once you purchase it, it's yours to keep forever, and you can do it all the time. You can do it. I would say you should be clearing your chakras at least once every few weeks, and maybe even more often. I don't know. It depends on how often you feel like your energy gets blocked, but you can do it every day if you want to. That's totally up to you. But I would say at least once, maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks, I would do that and just clear your chakras. All right, guys. Well, I want to thank you so much for being with me. I want to remind you that if you'd like to work with me, my coaching packages and sessions are all on sale for 30% off. So now is the perfect time to start working on living that life that you absolutely love. When you work with me, I connect with your energy and with your guides to see what you most need to work on. And then we work together to create a plan for you to really start living that best life. And if you'd like to do a past life regression or a Reiki session or even a reading, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Go to my website, melissaoatman.com, to look at the services that I offer, plus a description, and then the pricing. Right now, my hours are weeknights, 4 p.m. Central to 7 Central, and then Saturdays and Sundays from 10 to 2, all Central Time. Once summer comes, when school is out, then my hours really open up because I have all days. So that will be coming up soon. But right now I have limited hours. But if you want to book a session with me, you can purchase it online and then contact me and we will schedule the time that works the best for you. Well, I want to thank you so much for joining me. As always, if you like this podcast, please subscribe. Please share it with others. Please leave reviews. That helps other people find me, and I so want to thank you for those of you who have taken the time to do that. It means more to me than you will ever know, so thank you for that. I want to thank you for those of you who follow me on social media. If you don't already, please do. I go live Mondays at 5:30 Central on Facebook, unless it's a holiday, and then I go live on Tuesday. And I also post readings on Instagram, so thank you to those of you who already follow me. I hope that you guys have a beautiful day. I am sending you so much love and light. Don't forget to go out and be the light for others and take care of yourself. You deserve love. I will talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.